So next on our panel is Steve Keck. Steve is a crop consultant and had been a crop consultant for, you were talking earlier, around 30 years or so. And at least I've known him for that long. He's been at it longer than that. He's claiming time here, I think. But anyway, so I'll let Steve talk about his progress on managing water and nitrogen over the years.
I'll probably put maybe just a little bit of a twist on this. I'll kind of give you a little bit of my background. I worked a year down in southwest Kansas, and then I worked a year in Holdridge. And in 1985, I started my crop consulting business in Plainview. And when you look at that Brazil groundwater management area, 100% of my acres I scout and work with is in this phase area. So basically, we deal with the phase 3 area just big times. So needless to say, talk a little bit about the pushback of how these farmers or what their feelings are to do it. I've been on the steering committee. I always felt that was a good way to be there because sometimes when we implement some of these new rules and regulations, we want to see how receptive these farmers are and have an end goal. And ultimately, as a crop consultant, we've got to help implement those things. So if they're too far out in left field, these farmers will absolutely not look at it. It's just another expense. And ultimately, we don't want to see those kind of things go out there and stuff. In this area that we're looking at, we got 2 soil types. We got bad sand and really bad sand. So that's what we got to work with in a lot of these areas. So it's a challenge all the time out there and stuff. What we found since 1985, when I first came up in the Plainview area, the guys were out there and they were putting on roughly about 1.3 to 1.5 pounds of nitrogen per bushel of corn out there. Now we've got those guys, same growers out there, we're growing anywhere from, or utilizing 0.6 to 0.7 on the rotated acres and that 0.8 to 0.9 in the crop or the corn on corn acres. So we've made a huge amount of progress out there. The biggest thing I can see that farmers have probably struggled with the most out there is when you ask them, how much fertilizer did I put out there? And I know looking at the presentation this morning, it showed that these farmers are over applying their nitrogen out there. Well, in a farmer's mind, he'll say, well, what did I buy at the co-op or my fertilizer guy? Well, I put on 190 pounds of nitrogen out there. When you fill out those reports, they have all these credits out there. So we need to go out there and utilize these credits better than what we are. So realistically, they're probably putting on 250, 260 pounds. But that grower in his own mind is still putting on 190 pounds out there and stuff. So it's really hard to look at that as where that's at in today's world and stuff out there. And these growers they're trying pretty hard to try to stay within these guidelines and stuff out there. And I think overall they're doing a pretty decent job out there. But like ultimately the economics has driven it out here. And some of these wells that we deal with have up to 30 parts per million. And you figure they're getting 50 to 60 pounds of nitrogen out there, 30 cents a pound. You know, you do the math out there. I mean, there's $40, $50 worth of fertilizer possibly out there. So we're working as consultants to try to utilize all these credits and stuff out here. So it's been a challenge, but I think we are making progress. I can't believe what the yields these guys are growing out here, and I think we'll continue to get better. And with today's technology, with all the GPS, the yield monitors and everything else, these guys are really taking a step up in monitoring, and it's really fun to see what these guys have actually done over the years and stuff there. So I don't have a lot. I know we want to keep a schedule here, and I'll let Rich go ahead.
Steve, would you like to say something about your green plan with soybeans?
Oh, yeah. One thing, I guess I'm really fortunate. I own some ground, and so it's a playground, so I get to try new things with these new farm bills, with the EQIP program, CSP, cover crops. So we've come in, and I've worked with Dan on some stuff out here too. So we've come in and done some aerial seeding out there this year, and well, it's actually in the fall of 18, and planted green in there. Dan came out and took some pictures and stuff out here, but we're seeing some real positive things. So Dan's showing up there. That's really neat, and I think it's really something we'll be utilizing in the future.